How do you be present in any relationship? Well, being present is super important, because if you're not present, and if you've ever had a wife or a husband or a boyfriend or girlfriend who said, you're not present enough, then you know that being present is probably something you need to improve, and that's what we're going to teach you in this video.
Right
Mike Mandel.
Now, there's an art to relationships, and there's a science to them as well. And what happens when you mismanage a relationship?
Well, they probably crash and burn.
Exactly. But seriously, there are simple ways you can strengthen your key relationships, and one of the most important is being present.
Well, what the heck does that even mean?
To be
what does
present,
it mean?
it means to be actively communicating with another human being, and nothing else is pushing them out of your field of attention.
In fact, you're always communicating. Even if you're not communicating, you're communicating that you're not
communicating.
Yeah.
So you can't be staring at a screen, including your phone. Remember, you cannot not communicate. As Chris said, saying nothing, I see you're doing, saying nothing is still communicating. So the simple tools that can be applied consistently will send a message of presence to the other person.
And the other person will feel valued, right? So presence is an antidote to invalidation.
Right.
If people don't feel valued, that sucks for them and it'll suck for you. So let's talk about how to make it better. All right.
Tool number one, make frequent eye contact. Because when you make eye contact, you don't
oh my goodness, you imagine you're having a conversation with your spouse and, I need you to do this. Okay, honey, yep. I need you to go to the grocery store, cut the lawn. Yeah, okay. That's not a good way to behave.
Frequent eye contact says that I am listening and that you're important to me. But don't overdo it and get the Hannibal Lecter effect by being too interested in exactly like that. So glance at the person from time to time, make eye contact, nod, look away again.
All right, number two, we're going to use gestures and sounds that validate the other person. So what do we mean by that?
Well,
what kind
when
of
they're
gestures?
talking, they're making a point. You can nod slowly when you're looking at them as they're making a strong or an emotional point. You can even do the eyebrow flash that we said in another video. You can make sounds of understanding. We do this all the time. Someone's saying something, right, yeah. Just doing that gives them support to keep talking because they feel valid and listened to. And use the open steepling position to indicate that you're receptive. Not the steepling when you want to seem powerful, when it's dropped down. Like this, it's called an open steeple, and that shows that you are listening and taking in information.
Okay, the next one, and I waited until you were finished to say it, is stop interrupting. You know where you want to jump in. We all know that you know what you want to say next, and you're just waiting to jump in. Slow down, step back, let people finish speaking, and by avoiding interrupting them, you avoid invalidating the message they're giving you. So get really good at listening and not interrupting.
Right, because when you interrupt, you pattern interrupt them, you take them off the course of what they were saying, and very often they have to hit a rewind and start again and say, no, what I was saying was this. We think we know what the end of their sentence is going to be. We jump in. You just jumped in.
Yeah, and I want to point out, actually, we get a lot of comments on YouTube and on our podcast and stuff. You guys, you interrupt each other. We're energetic people and we're having fun. We're not sharing ideas, and I'm not trying to get Mike to listen to me.
Because I'm not.
We're on the same page. We're focused on the same point, so we'll naturally interrupt each other because of the excitement.
That's not what you're saying that the steeple has gone from receptive, it's coming back.
Yeah, like we're not talking about that, right? We're talking about being present when someone is trying to talk to you.
Correct.
Right?
Now, pause before you speak as well. Let people finish their point before you jump in. It's very common. I did this for years. I'd start talking in the latter half of their sentence, and my wife would say, that's not where I was going with this.
Yeah, I had a bad habit. Still do sometimes, but I'm conscious of it. And by being conscious of it, we can work to improve it. So yes, that pause is really helpful. You know who's really good at that? Timothy September on our team. He's amazing. He will let people finish.
Tool number 4.
Ask for clarification. Yes. Oh, that's a powerful one. Why does asking for clarification work so well, Mike?
It shows that you're paying attention and you want to understand what they're saying. So an example would be a person says, well, my brother decided to leave town, and this is an important discussion. And you say, sorry, which brother? Was it Wilhelm or Heinrich? Oh, it was Heinrich. Okay. You're asking for clarification. As long as you don't do it too much, it can seem like you're not listening if you do it too much. But a bit of clarification like that, then they'll go back to talking again and they will feel validated. Don't overdo it, or it becomes annoying.
You're right. And you know what might be a good video? We can put a card right at this point to indicate that you might want to watch our video on the meta model. The meta model is a great model for using language to clarify language, but don't overdo it or you become
a meta meddler.
Meddler.
Now, tool number 5. Avoid self-reference.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean because I once.
Yeah. Narcissists do this all the time. They make every point somehow about them. Someone wants to tell you about their vacation in Iceland, and they say, "We were in Iceland last week. Oh, I had a great vacation 2 years ago." And they just grab the ball and run with it. Start talking about themselves.
And I found that not because he's a narcissist, but there's a very close friend of our family, and he does this really consistently. He's amazing at, anyone will start telling any story, and suddenly it's, oh yeah, there it is. And I just do this now. I get in the habit of just wait.
That's clever. I'm going to start doing it. There's a guy at our cabin up north, and he did the same thing. He would never ask anything about our lives, never ask what we were doing or what had happened. He'd just talk about himself endlessly. And when we'd start to talk about anything, he would use that as, caught that ball, and here's how it applies to me. And would go into a 10-minute talk about himself. It's horrendously narcissistic. People love to talk about themselves. So when someone is talking, show genuine interest. The Al Pierce trick, we call it. Al Pierce is a great friend of ours. Al is genuinely interested in other people, and everybody likes him because Al asks questions that are pertinent to them and about their lives. He does the opposite of narcissistic self-reference.
I love that.
Ask them about themselves. Use this.
Yes, it's the idea that when someone is asking you, oh, how was your day? Make sure that once you're done talking, flip it back. How was your day? What's new with you? What's going on in your life?
Nice. The final tool, use the other person's words back to them to build rapport and strengthen the communication loop, because people know what their own words mean to them. So don't interpret. So if someone says, oh, I was feeling a little distressed last week, don't say, sounds to me like you're undergoing some kind of clinical depression. No, you say, just repeat the word and say distressed, like you're listening. Offering their exact words to them will strengthen the communication loop, and it'll lead to better communication and better friendship.
Okay, so let's wrap it up. Let's summarize. What are the key points here, Mike?
Okay, well, if you adopt any of these techniques, it will strengthen any close relationship. And if you adopt them all, it'll be amazing. Remember, people will like being around others who make them feel good about themselves.
In your presence.
In your presence. If you use these techniques, they'll feel good about themselves and they'll connect it to you.
All right, so let us know in the comments how this video improves any of your relationships, whether they be business, whether they be friendships, whether they be romantic, or any other sort of relationship. Hopefully it's not a relationship with ChatGPT, because if it is, you gotta get out into the world and make new friends and have a good time. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks once again, and good night!